My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And we're all still in quarantine. Yay! We're still at home.
Yeah.
Like many of you, we haven't really left our houses all that much because we're not allowed to. And since we just stay home, there's lots of times to watch things, to listen to things, to explore the entertainment that you otherwise wouldn't have the time when things like having to leave your house for various reasons encroach upon it. So today we're going to be doing a little segment here that everyone who listens to us seems to really like. And it's the what we're listening to and what we're watching. So first we're going to talk about what music we've been listening to, that sort of thing. And then we're going to talk about all the stuff we've been watching as we are at home in this late fall. Okay, I propose that for what we're listening to, we go age order down. And then we reverse it back up for what we're watching. So it'll go Amanda to Sky, and then Sky to Amanda.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Can do that.
Good.
That'll work.
Switch it up.
All right, Amanda, what have you been listening to?
Boy, I don't know. I feel like it's been like 3 months since we did this. So, I have no idea what I talked about last time. So, if you've already heard this, I'm sorry. But, whatever. They were good enough songs. It's so nice. I'm doing them twice. So Blackpink had their new album come out. The album, it's a mini album, let's be honest, but it has some really good songs on it. I particularly really, really, really like the song Bet You Wanna with Cardi B. I like everything about it. It's quite a nice sort of summer pop, fun, dancey. I don't know. I just really like it. I like Cardi, but often what she chooses in her own music to sing about is not my usual vibe. So it's really nice to have her on something where I'm like, oh yeah, I like her and I can listen to this comfortably and enjoy it. So it's the best of both worlds for me. Lee Soo-hyun from ACMU, had her single debut, Alien. So freaking cute. The song is so good.
So much. I love it so much.
And she's so cute.
It's just so happy sounding.
It is. I mean, I haven't looked up the lyrics. Maybe it's like Dinosaur, and if I look up the lyrics, I'm super depressed. But I don't think so.
No, the one thing about the lyrics is that she does use the word "damn." Which for her,
yeah, I know.
which for her was a thing, to where even some of her fans were like, "Oh," and she's like, "We decided it was a stronger way to say that I'm gonna save the whole world, and it was important that it be that way." She's so cute.
It's cute lyrics.
She's
It's
not 12 anymore.
Yeah.
Chill out, guys.
It's kind of one of those accepting yourself as being the weirdo of the group and that being entirely okay. Kind of in that realm.
And she talked about that's very much the message of it, and she wanted to put, because it wasn't just yay aliens, but she really was trying to be being yourself is the best thing to be and all these things, and so it's really cool.
It's so cute, and the video is really good and fun, and the whole thing. It's just a good solid package. Mm-hmm. Got me excited. They've said they've got new music coming out soon.
Yeah, in a week.
I know. I'm so excited now. Woo, yay. And he's clearly, I don't know, that poster, his hair is so shaggy now. He's clearly come out of the military, and he's like, never again. I'm never cutting it again.
oh, did you not see his mulletness for quite some time?
No, I hadn't seen him at all. So yeah. So that's
to where there's even this traditional Korean singer. She's pretty young, but he once upon a time when he got out of the military talked about how he liked her music and really pretty much adored her. So afterwards they met and became friends and stuff. So on a show, she was talking about his hair and how she wanted his hair to be better, but she can't convince him to fix his hair.
Let him be. Let him be.
if they come out of the military and they want to, like, whatever they want to do with their hair, do it. You're free now. Just be free, boys. Be free.
Get it out of your system.
Exactly. There was new music from Marshall this month. It's not my favorite of all of the songs he's released this year, but, like, there's never a bad song that comes from Marshall. So it's called Starlight. It's all right. It's not, like I said, not my favorite. It's got a bit of a weird thing that it's like it's two songs put together. So it does this weird jumpy thing. So you kind of get into it and then you're like, oh, and now we're in a different song. Okay, now like every time you sort of get into the vibe, it shifts. It's like, but it's kind of cool. So everything he does is cool. So, hey, Monsta X had their comeback. I really, really, really like, I'm totally not going to pronounce this one right because it's in Hangul, but it's like Galchung, I think. Galchung. It's got the one that has like gasoline in the chorus. Love Like Gasoline. I love that song. So good. I love it when they lean hard into their like smooth vocals and like.
Yeah, that's when I love Monsta X.
Yeah. What else? Oh, of course. How could I forget? So Beautiful by DPR.
Oh, gosh.
Who is so beautiful.
He's like more than so beautiful. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Let's be honest
my
with
God.
ourselves.
I know. I was watching Frankie, Aussie K-pop mom's reaction video to it, and she's like, I call all these boys my sons, but not you. You're not my son. And I was like, yep. The song is so good. Like the day it came out, I basically had it and his other song Zombie Pop from this year, just the two of them back and forth, just on replay all morning, listening over and over because I didn't need to listen to anything else. He's so good. And the
video is also good.
Oh my God. Like, it's crazy. And then when CL's video for 5 Star came out and he's in that, and a lot of the scenes, not a lot, but a few of the scenes are like the same ones. You're like, hey, wait a minute. Those woods, those trees, that was in his video. And like, you know, so it's neat. The little crossover. It's like the video with her, like the two of them are so cute together. It's just so cute. Like, everything I saw after that video came out, people were like, listen, I try not to ship real people, but like if they're dating, that's pretty cool, and they could just tell us. Like,
that's really funny. CL on her like she specifically talks a lot more on her Instagram with a lot of her like fans, and one of the things is that she always calls herself mom, so she's mom to all the fans that she has. And so someone was like, do we have like a new dad or something? And then she responded with laughing, and I was like, yes.
Like, please?
We're into it.
And I mean, they're both so artistic, and like their music is so good, but then on top of that, like they just have such great artistic vision and stuff, and like the two of them together, like clearly from the videos and stuff, it's just, it works really, really well when they're together. So I hope he's been like on his Instagram and his IG and stuff, he's been saying that like, you know, watch for me, more stuff coming. You guys, I'm really happy that you like it. So hopefully we got 2 songs this year. Maybe we could get 2 more next year. Maybe 4 more songs. Like, woo,
maybe one before the end of the year if we're really really
maybe. You never know. I love his voice. I love his style. I love just everything about him. So more music would be a blessing. I would love it. I hate using the word discovered because they've been around for a while, but like new to me, discovered. And Ben, they're sort of a folk kind of group from
they're Taiwanese,
the Philippines,
right? Or Philippines.
I think
I can't remember.
The Philippines. Well, what I found them on was they had a song called Ride Home that featured in Gaya sa Pelikula. Kula soundtrack, and yeah, they're so good. I like just went through their whole catalog over the weekend.
They're very big Day 6 fans.
Are they?
Yeah, they've
That's
done a
so
cover.
cool.
And like almost every like My Day that I've seen on Twitter has always talked about Ben and Ben, and like that's like what they will spam in the comments on V Lives. So they must be
they're
huge.
so good. Like, yeah, they seem to be.
And it was the Philippines. They're in the Philippines.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I thought. I had seen a comment from one of the actors from, I'm not going to try and say it in Tagalog again, I'll butcher it, but like the movies, he had said that like right from the start he had hoped they would get Ben and Ben on the soundtrack, and so he was super happy to have them. It was like a really big pivotal scene for the show, and so it was great, and it's just a really good song. Like I love it when a good song is long, so you get to just keep listening to it and listening to it. So yeah, it's a great song. They're great. I am very happy to have found them. I love it when soundtracks introduce me to new singers. So, and then I've also been listening to the closing theme from Professional Single. Sadly, it's not available to me on Spotify. It appears that it is on Spotify, available to other people, because you get that little blank square. It's there. You just can't listen to it. But you can watch it on YouTube. They have the end credits sort of up as a video. But the singer is Sunny. And I guess she was on the like Chinese like Produce 101 show or something. I've just seen a few things. I haven't like deep dived into it, but she's had a bunch of songs out this year, and she's got a great voice, like really, really nice. I like this song because I'm hearing it every time I watch the show, but I went and listened to a bunch of the rest of her stuff too, and it's all good. She's got a great voice, really, really smooth. I just really enjoy it quite a lot. So, yeah, that's kind of where I've been living. I've mostly just been listening to Ben and Ben and Ian, Christian U, DPR Ian. Those have been my real big go-tos this month. So, and Blackpink, but the album's so short. What are you gonna? Yeah.
You don't have to do it so much.
Take what you can get, I guess.
So it's Nikki from Soju Chronicles podcast. She was saying, she's like, I got in the car and I thought, I'm gonna put Blackpink's new album on. Nah, because I'll have to change it by the time I get to the corner.
Aww.
I was like,
sad.
True.
So how about you, Jessie? What are you listening to?
Let's see. So we talked about CL. My favorite is 5 Star currently, but she does have her album like officially coming out at the end of the month, so we'll see. Like, I mean, I'm going to like whatever comes my way though, because it's CL. Right. And I love CL. We talked about Monsta X. Nobody Else is my favorite off that album. I like it more than the title track, which usually on Monsta X I really like the title track, and then I like some of the B-sides. So it's very rare that like the B-sides will like take over completely, and like the title track it's not my favorite, but that means it's still a really good song, because it's like one of my favorites. So it's like they're just not in the like place, but like Nobody Else is so good. But I mean, look, the entire album's good. So if you haven't listened to it, you should.
It's real good, guys. It's real good. Get on the Monsta X
please.
train, okay?
Please. They have a solid discography. Just you can listen to it forever. Like, it's great. It's wonderful.
I was looking at my Spotify, and Spotify will tell you like how many songs by the artist you've liked, and I was like, come on now, 76 songs. I don't like 76 songs by Monsta X. And then I went through and was like trying to erase them. I was I like 76 songs by Monsta X.
It's worth it.
Yeah, no, totally. Dahae, who was one of the members of Bestie, who's a girl group. They're disbanded. They were the girl group who was mostly comprised of people from EXID. She just came out with her solo debut. She came out in a couple of weeks ago with her cover of Poison, which was good. I don't like when new groups or new people just do covers, because I think that's just kind of mean for them. Like, they should be allowed to have their own songs and promote their own songs, and then after they have a lot of that, then they can do covers. Like, I understand like the pre-debut stuff, but like if they're debuting, they should be given a song that's theirs. So it did great on the cover, but it was just like, oh man, but she came out finally with a single, and it's so good. It's called Bad Blood. It's really good. You should all watch it, and the music video is great. So I'm really happy that she was able to drop like an actual solo song and it be so good. Especially like she was the rapper in Bestie. So I just wasn't expecting like her to be like the soloist out of the group, but she's doing great, and I'm glad that she's able to keep doing some stuff. I guess we can put this in here. Is a person that I am listening to now. He's an American singer, but like I guess all the Korean people that I like him. Keshi, if you haven't listened to his stuff, it's really good. He just came out with an EP called Always. Very good. He's also like seems like a really cool guy too, and so I finally like dove in because people got me. You kept talking about Keshi for too long, and now I'm here. I wanted to talk about Bull 4, which was the duo, and now it's just the soloist. She just came back with 2 songs. One of them is Dancing Cartoon. It's not like my favorite song, but it's super cute, and the big draw of it is that Wonpil from Day 6 stars in the video, and he's absolutely adorable. He actually is a really great actor. Like, it's shocking.
There was some tsundere Wonpil going on.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's holding hands, hugs, like kiss behind the hat, but like it's like full out like he's the main character of this music video. And as a side note, I'm sure everybody has already clipped it and put it on YouTube. Jay did a reaction video of it on his Twitch stream, and it's the best thing ever. So you should definitely like look for that because of that. But I also wanted to bring it up because like just either it was like today or yesterday, it came out that she's halting her promotions for this comeback because she's having a lot of like anxiety issues and other things. And so like I know that she's kind of bigger in Korea, but I don't know that she's like very big internationally. I mean, I don't know that much, but like I would assume that, especially with the amount of views that are on the channels. But like because she has to stop her comeback, and this is her first comeback as the soloist, I kind of find that like sad. So if there's any like person to go kind of give some of your views to, check the 2 videos that she has out. They're good songs too, so it's not like even I think you'll have fun with them, so check that out. I won't talk too much about Taemin because I'm sure someone else on this cast will talk, but I tend to like anything that like Taemin and SHINee puts out, so obviously it's a win for me. There were a couple of girl groups that I really like their songs for the past. I don't think we talked about this last time we were doing music stuff, but do they pronounce it Weki Meki or Wiki Mikey?
I think they're Wiki Mikey.
We may never know.
I think they're Wiki Mikey.
Wiki Mikey. Their Cool song is cool. Like, it's so good. I have like supported them as like an outsider, but I've never really connected with any of their songs, but this song is so good. It's like so good, and the music video is great for it. I think it just works really well, and like the colors, and just like they did a lot of stuff with the music video, so like definitely check it out if you haven't ever listened to that group, because I feel like this is a different direction that they've gone. in terms of like what I've liked.
No,
Also,
and I was just gonna say about that. I also saw that a lot of people kind of called the choreography a little bit more androgynous than, so you know how girl group choreo can be very, very feminine, which is totally fine. But for them, and they have done some girl crush stuff before, so they've gone kind of that way before. But after people talked about the choreo being pretty much the most androgynous choreo for many girl groups, I went back and I watched it, and I was like, I can see that being a thing.
I can see that too. Like the best way to describe it is Vogue. It's like a Vogue-esque type thing. Like it's like very powerful, and like, you can just tell when people really like choreographies because you can tell they have fun with it more than just like being a good dancer or stuff. And there's like some parts of that choreography that like you can tell they're like, I'm having so much fun doing this. And yeah. So the song is so good. Like it's been on repeat for me. And then also Everglow's La Di Da, also
so
very good. Everglow forever, let's go. They're great.
Everglow. Everglow.
So let's know who they are.
No, that's what I was actually, when we were watching K-Con and Everglow came on, I was like, honey, I like Everglow. Honey is my husband, for anyone who cares. I was like, I like Everglow because at the beginning of every one of their songs, they let you know who they are, so you can know who to stand. It's never a mystery.
Yeah. It's a good song, and like there's this like trend now that's like this kind of pseudo like nod to like disco 70s like synth pop going on, and I think they're the ones who did it currently the best. Like that song is just really good. I really love when the choreo has a lot like more with their like hand movements and stuff, and they do that with this choreo. I've watched probably every stage of them now, like not just by default, and it's just like, so like I've like really analyzed the choreo for this. But it's a good song, and it's like a song like I just haven't like gravitated towards Everglow, and then the song just caught me. And then another K-pop thing that got me, I've been trying really hard. Okay, so I did this thing where I know I'm gonna get into something, and so I purposely like divert my eyes. And like, I'm like, no, you can't get into it. You can't get into it. And there's this group at the beginning of the year. I was like, I'm definitely going to get into them because I really like their song. And then they just came out with the second single of the year. And it's like been literally on repeat like multiple times in one sitting. So I guess I'm a Pentagon stan now.
Yeah! You're a universe now. Welcome.
I tried so hard.
You're collecting them. New babies for you.
I'm in that boat, but I was already like sliding that way. I think like the last comeback or two.
I loved Dr. Baby. Yeah, like it was so good, and I was like, oh no. And then I was like, no. And it was doing like not. It's bad for the fans, obviously, because their next comeback was not until like now. But like I was like, they didn't do anything, so I was able to be like, la la la, I don't know, Pentagon. I just know them like very like, kind of like I know of. And then like Sky's over here talking about like Pentagon every single week because of him being at the Trot Show. And I was like, what are we doing?
Like, no, don't make me do it.
He's so dangerous, guys. Like, he's so dangerous.
Good. He's so good. And I'm like, no. And then Daisy came out, and I was like, this is, like, so good. Like, really good song. And so here I am. I was there for their first win. I'm in it to win it, I guess.
Well, so I saw someone kind of describe Daisy as there's a little bit of alt-rock.
There is.
Like, it was destiny that we were gonna like that song. Like there was no way.
Sure. I like started this playlist on Spotify, and it's, what did I call it? It's the Sad Belty Emo Boys, and that's like my jam. Like if you're emo and you're belty, I am there, and Daisy is that song for sure. It's so good, and the music video is also very good. Like it's one to check out because it's very emotional. with the song too, and I think it works out.
And then they did a really cool performance video. It's one of those one-shot videos.
I like those.
Yeah. To where they're all kind of pretending like they had a Daisy at one point, but it wasn't like cutesy. It's still very, tonally it worked with all the stuff. It was really neat.
Yeah, so I guess now with, members in the military, you should like send me things because I've gotten into them because I'm that person. I always get into a group when like half of the members are in military or like it's already completely disbanded. I'm like, ooh, shiny.
Time to check these guys out.
Like
new young cats on the scene.
Man, I got to November, and here we are. Have been good about like not doing the like whole of YouTube, but like I've gone through the whole of like listening to all their music several times, and that's when it really like was solidified. It was like I like all their songs.
Dag nabbit.
Damn it. I tried.
There's kind of, whenever that happens to, whenever you are checking a group out and then you start hitting songs that you're really not into that much, it's like, okay, I can just be like, a fan.
For the most part, that's like how it is for me. Like, it genuinely, like, I'll be like, oh, this is like the only song, and then I'm like, am I gonna get into this group? And then like I'll hear another song on their like album. I'm like, I'm not into this as much. Okay, so it's kind of just like one shot thing, which is fine. Like, music is subjective and everybody has different tastes, but like it just kept on going, and I was like, oh no. And then I kind of realized that like all of my like 2 p.m. friends were kind of into Pentagon, and I was like, oh,
it's the vocals,
and you can get me with vocals. That's where you can get me.
But
I'm a sucker for vocals.
Once you start hitting all the music and you're like, crap, I like all of this. Like, but that's a big old billboard that you gotta stand. Like, you can't not.
Daisy is great. I'm like, you need to listen to Daisy. If you have not listened to Daisy, just go and listen to it. It's so good. But yeah, here we are. Yay. I guess I have the time, so might as well catch me now, whatever.
Like, we're not allowed leaving our houses.
Yeah.
Time to go find a new group to love,
Honestly, for the most part, I'm like listening to stuff nonstop. Like I listen to a lot of like indie stuff, and I won't go into everything, but I will say the next like big thing for me, because I just found out last night because it just was released. So Sakai no Ori is one of my favorite Japanese groups. I love them. I've talked about them multiple times on this podcast. When they do stuff in English, they go by End of the World, which is what Sakai no Ori means. But like, so they specifically have it like broken. And so they announced, like, was it a month ago, that they were finally releasing a full album under End of the World, which is a project they have been wanting to do for a while. And so they've been working to do like more English songs for years. Like it's probably been a while. Like a couple of years ago, they did a collab with Epic High. They've done a collab with and a concert with the Firefly song. The like
American Firefly.
Yeah.
Owl City.
Yes.
Owl City.
So if you like Owl City, actually, you would really like Sakai no Ori. That's kind of their vibe for most of their music. So I was like really excited about that. That's really cool. They're all like really excited about it. And then just last night they posted on their socials they're releasing one of the singles Friday, which is like par for the course for Japanese stuff. You may have like the album come out for purchase at the end of the month, but like the digital stuff comes out. So they announced that they were doing a collab, and they're doing the collab with Nikki from 88 Rising, which if you don't know who Nikki is, she is so good. She's currently like out of like the people at 88 Rising right now, she's like my favorite. She's a great vocalist. She just came out a couple, like maybe 2 months ago with an EP, Moonchild.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to it, it's really good. And this collab is going to be crazy good. Like, I'm so excited for it. So by the time you listen to this podcast, it's going to be out. And I will have already like talked about it a million times on my Twitter. But like I was literally, it was like 1 a.m. and I'm like on my phone, and then I see it and I was like, what? Freaking out.
So Jesse is telling the future that we all need to go listen to the collab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you can.
Right
when you're
now
listening
you
to it.
can. And then you should also listen to all of Sakai no Owari's stuff, and you should listen to all of Nikki's stuff. You might have already seen her, because a lot of people have been doing, you know how you do the like side by side TikToks where you kind of do duets with the person.
Yeah, duets. Yeah.
Her song, Celine, was kind of big for people doing that, and 88 Rising is also really good with like posting social stuff and posting like fan stuff. So there's been a lot of that kind of buzz with her, but she's just so good that it just the vocals on this is just, they're just gonna be so good. Like, I'm so excited for it. I can't. Music has been really great these last couple of months. I'm like so
really
excited for everything. But yeah, that's kind of it. There's a lot more, but I guess Pentagon.
It happens.
You've been sucked in now. There's no going back.
Sure, fine. Whatever. Fine. All right, Natalia. What have you been?
Well, Taemin came back in a big way. I am such a simp for Taemin. It's not even funny. And it's not in, like, any sort of sexual way at all. Because, like, he's not my type. But, like, I just think he's the best. Like, I just think he's the best. He's so good at everything he does. And he's just such a little scamp in his real life. Like, just constantly terrorizing Key, which I think is the funniest thing. But this comeback was mwah. So I guess it's the title track, but it's not the name of the album, but his comeback song idea is fantastic. But it is not my favorite song on the album because he finally put out a studio version of the song Heaven. Oh, if you have never like gone out and watched the live performance of Heaven, it's wild. It's done on a tilted stage, so they do stuff with like falling down the stage. It's real good. I loved pretty much every song on there. It was a very solid album. You should go listen to it. And if you like crop tops as much as I do, he wears one in the music video for Idea. So there's that. And just like Jesse, I have been obsessed with Monsta X's new album. It's fantastic. And if you like mullets, they're wearing some in the music video. So go check that out. Mullet watch. We got not one, but two mullets in the music video. It was a mullet bifecta, okay?
We have some mullets coming up for GOT7 as well, so.
JB's mullet's looking good. It's like long and luxurious. Like, ooh, it's like literally like as soon as they put out, like I think it was like 3 minutes after they put out the little promo image for their comeback, someone had already tagged me like, "Do you see JB's mullet? Do you see the mullet?" I'm like, oh bitch, I saw the mullet. I saw that.
I got it.
Worry not. I've also been listening to Twice. Their album that came out last month. Love it. It has that disco vibe that we were talking about with their comeback song. It doesn't sound like disco, but it has like especially in the intro, it has this weird like disco like 70s style like.
Yeah, they're like kind of hinting towards it. They're like
yeah, but it's like it's
getting there.
Not, but like you're just like you get a little sense of nostalgia.
Yeah.
What else have I been listening to? Man, like I just sort of listen. I've listened to a lot of Super Junior lately.
Oh, yeah.
I like their new song, but it's a little too like sappy for me. I like their funnier stuff. Like like my
I'm a ballad Super Junior fan. I love their ballads.
I don't dislike their ballads. I just prefer listen, Super Junior D&E is my favorite part of Super Junior, so it's like that should tell you what I'm in this for, But no, that was really good. What else? Oh, Chet's song that he did right before going back to the military. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. And Janaya recently sent me all 3 versions of Wano's new album, so I've been just listening to that because it was like real. Not only that, she also sent me an extra photo card. I'm like, oh, Janaya, my K-pop sugar mama. I didn't even know. I've only opened one of them. I have the other 2 just like chilling here right next to me, just like so shiny. But yeah, sweet baby.
Aww.
I have like my whole, this is like semi-unrelated, but I have my whole office set up, with, I got, you know. And my coworker had to come over to like drop off stuff for the manual that I've been endlessly working on. And she saw my office. I have like a giant poster of Kang Daniel behind my computer and like just photo cards and like fans with, K-pop boys on them, all my light sticks and stuff. And she's just like looking around my office and she's like, "You're 32." Like, yes. And she's like, "Why does your office look like a 16-year-old's bedroom?" And I'm like, you know what? Just.
You know what? You're 32 and living your life well.
That's right. I'm like, listen, I am living my dream. This is. No, she should have seen my bedroom when I was 16. It was much worse than this. I didn't have like money for nice photo cards and stuff, so I had to like scavenge, like the free magazines at the movie theater. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then I would like cut out and make little collages of all the stuff I liked. And
I would rip out like all magazine ads and
yeah,
collages.
Everywhere.
Yep.
everywhere. And then one day we had a really bad storm. And the roof leaked, but only in my room, and just ruined.
Oh.
And it was like years of posters and pictures and everything.
Oh.
Oh, the heartbreak.
It still hurts to think about. The only thing that's fun, there was a Lilo and Stitch poster survived, and 2 Star Wars posters, and a single Harry Potter poster. That was it.
She's holding her heart, by the way.
R.I.P. Natalia's room.
Oh, rip Natalia's room. So yeah, I've listened to it twice too, and I just like, I have these playlists that, since I've been working so much, I haven't, which is like such a weird thing for me. Like, I didn't sign up to do this to work a lot. You know what I mean? Like, with my job that I have, like, no, the point was that I didn't have to work a lot so I could spend all my time watching stuff. But no, I've been working a lot. So I have these, like, playlists that I play. So I've been listening to a lot of Lay because he's on the playlist. It's not like his new stuff, just like, I love the song Peach by Lay. It's such a nasty song if you actually
It is.
and
So
listening
good.
to the songs, you're like, oh, Jesus. But, like, it's real catchy. And, like, if you had Taman on there and Blackpink and Wavy, just, it's just, so, anyway, I'll send a link to that if anyone is curious about the nasty playlist I listen while I do work. It's literally a song. It's like a playlist full of songs from all over the world that are all nasty. Just universally just. But it's a very motivating playlist because they're also all like. So anyway, that's what I've been listening to. What about you, Sky?
I'm gonna.
You okay?
Yeah,
I'm gonna die.
I just get hacky in here for whatever.
It's like every time I go in public and like I have like a dry throat or something, and I'm like, don't you dare cough, don't you do it.
Man,
It's the worst.
I had to do an errand in a store today, and I was behind this elderly woman. Everyone was wearing masks and all that, but all of a sudden she started coughing, and I was like,
I just sense fear in your bones.
like, no.
It's like, and it's like she just has like a dry throat or something.
Right.
Yeah, like it's
Just like
the
old person
weather's
cough. Like,
transitioning too. You're like, yeah, of course, everything's getting drier. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was going to talk about really quickly. So the disco flare thing, since I was doing screenshots of music videos recently, for some reason there were two, and I'm not even going to remember off the top of my head which ones they were. There were two girl group songs that were very disco-y, but both of them decided to use this heavy sparkle filter during like more than half of the music videos, to where like if you're trying to get a clear screenshot of anything,
and
it
hazy film on it.
And I'm fine with some, some photograph, like if something's smoky or whatever, it's whatever. But the sparkle filter, you don't, especially these pretty girls in their little cutesy outfits, you don't need to like not be able to see them. Like, see them perform. The poor girls worked hard. So that is annoyed at music videos this week.
That's Sky's corner. There's the mullet corner. There's the annoyed at music videos for screenshot corner.
Actually, the corner. There's the K-pop got Sky corner. It's me confused about things. So I consider myself a rather intelligent person in general with life, but when it comes to K-pop, there's always something that'll come across my knowledge that I'm like, I'm way slow figuring it out. So, what that has been this past month is there's a band called 2Z, the number 2, the letter Z. They even sometimes write it out Tuzi.
2Z. Okay.
Now, I follow them on Twitter, I follow them on Instagram, I pay attention, and they would have birthdays and all this stuff to where I would pay attention to the hashtag written in English from A, the letter A. And I really thought, stage names or nicknames that people have, I really thought like one of the kids went by from A. For some reason. I kind of just kept seeing the same hashtag, like from A. I'm like, what is going on? I really thought the other kid was from A. Like, why is he from A now? Like, I really didn't understand. So recently they released some merch of some sort where they signed albums and they made shirts. And then if you went to the website, it said in English, to all of our from A's. So it's their fandom name.
A2Z.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's so. I love when like fandom names are adorable.
Yes.
Like,
I automatically was like, that's great. That's a great fandom name. And I totally thought it was one of the kids.
Well,
That is the Sky being slow about K-pop moment of this month, because I'm sure there's going to be another one coming up. Sometimes it's the whole numbers and names thing. There's always something that gets me, and then I'll eventually figure out, oh, I was totally wrong about this thing, because of course I was. So, we already gushed about Daisy from Pentagon, but that's a thing.
But yeah, we could keep gushing about it,
My Pentagon journey, I knew I had some Pentagon already in my basket, the really happy stuff, and then Super 5 and Hui, and then Dr. Bebe before that, and yeah. Pentagon, yeah, we're there.
Like picking us up. They're like, oh, let's hit up the Certified Noonas now.
And then of course Hui's like, bye, I'm gonna go into the military. And December's like, okay, see you later.
You're like, oh, bye.
And we already talked about Alien from Sehyun, and she's great. Great. Her choreo, so cute. So cute.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa.
Yes!
Yes.
My bestie! Why did I
You
do
forgot your bestie.
You forgot about your bestie.
I'm the worst friend ever.
Alexa, the title song is Revolution. And as with all of her music videos, it's pretty much like a mini movie. Just go watch it. It's fun. So good. So good.
Yes, very good.
And I'm not going to go like way political about anything, but it's been a rough week or two for the American line. I'm just going to say that.
Yes, it's been a journey, a ride.
To where music has helped, but also when you're in a certain mood, you have to kind of listen to like calming things to keep yourself freaking out. And then whenever you have a moment of relief, then it's like, oh, I can listen to like Alexa's Revolution now, and I feel better about life. Like, okay. That was that little side note. Okay, I know literally nothing about D-Crunch except for the fact that they exist. I knew that they exist.
Like they're a thing.
Sure. Yeah.
But their song Across the Universe, I like it way too much than is healthy. I just do.
We all have our songs.
We all have one, man. We all have one that we're just like, I shouldn't listen to this again.
For the first time.
It keeps on finding me. And then, and I'm not going to say this right, I'm sure that Jessie could say it correctly because it's a band that she has listened to for probably many moons. Sokoninaru?
Oh, I'd have to like be looking at it. Yeah, it's Sokoninaru. Yeah.
So they had an album that came out. And so the thing about them, I know nothing about them except for just like what they are. They're a 3-piece band which does like heavy rock.
Yep.
And you get the lead guitarist,
J-rock.
lead guitarist fella, bassist gal, and then the drummer. Mm-hmm. And the thing about this hard rock is they don't scream really all that often. There's a lot of singing, like, so then they have co-ed vocals harmonizing sometimes. Love it so much.
They're very good. Yes.
I like it a lot. So, and their title song has had a ton of distortion. It was really cool that way, but then it's a really good album. Go listen to the album. It's great. Mikey Wikey, we already talked about that. They did a really good job. I really wanted them to get a first win, but like, it's just hard.
Yeah. I'm not having too good of luck on my faves getting wins this year. That's the one downside of this year.
Not huge girl groups, it's really hard, I feel like.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. I'm glad Pentagon got their first one, though. That was good. Yeah. But they're not a girl group, in case anyone was unaware.
Yeah, and then like, I'm like totally glad that like Monsta X is on their second win, but like also they have like actually a lot of more wins than any of my groups ever will even see in their lifetime. So I'm like, I'm not worried about them like everybody else is.
Yeah. So this is not an official release. You will not see it on Spotify. You can, however, go see it on YouTube. ATEEZ did a cover.
Oh yeah.
Of Turbo's Black Cat Nero, and it is fun. And so the Immortal Songs performance, they did it for an Immortal Songs performance, and it was great there. And then so for the Halloween time, they decided to do a performance video of it, and then Jungkook showed up. And it's great.
It's so good. The arrangement of it is like insane. Like I can't get over it. It's so good. But it's only on YouTube.
Yeah.
But the video is good to watch. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, if you have YouTube Music, I guess it would work okay, maybe. Does it work like that? Does YouTube Music work like that? I need to mess with it more.
I don't see. The thing is, I don't use YouTube Music. I just have YouTube and I have a subscription to it. And one of the things is that like you're allowed to like lock your phone and it still be playing. Yeah. So I just play like the regular music video, and then it just, if my phone locks, it's still playing. I'm like bad at that. But I also watch like regular YouTube, so the no ad thing is a big thing.
Prior to when I got into Spotify, I had Google Music because that's how I would get music onto my Android phone.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I had to upload my stuff that direction. And that was even when I was using iTunes too, but I couldn't get the iTunes stuff on my Android phone, so I had to use Google Play Music in order to do that. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say, recently, maybe not super recently, Google Music is no more, and you had to go pump all that into YouTube Music. So my phone asked me like, "Hey, you want to scoot your stuff over before you can't?" I was like, "I guess so."
Like, sure.
So I recently
I'd
tried
like
to
to see
use
that.
it, and I was like, I have no idea how to do this. However, I've been on Spotify for so long. My husband has been all about YouTube Music. I should probably ask him how to use it. Anyway, Black Cat Nero, really good. Go check it
Oh,
out.
it's so good.
It's really good.
I just pulled up the YouTube Music app, and when I search Black Cat Nero, the AT's video does come up.
Okay.
But I don't know that means.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how it would do. I don't know how it interacts with the music videos for song. I'm not sure.
As far as songs go, it just comes up like the turbo.
Maybe it used to do, okay, so I used to always be on iTunes, and what I would do is I would like stock the freebie section every month and just download every freebie that they would ever give on iTunes, because they used to give a lot of freebies of the month. It was like a collection of stuff, and sometimes they were free music videos. And so I remember having these like free music videos and like an iPod Shuffle that doesn't have a screen because this is that long ago. And it would just play the audio to it. So maybe it does something like that.
I just tried playing it and plays the video. So.
Okay. But yeah, but I mean, like it's actually a really fun video to watch because they make so many mistakes in the background that just like keep watching in the background, like because like someone will be goofing off and someone will be like super serious over here, and you're like, what are you doing?
ATs is just
they're
little babies. They're crazy. They're just really silly. Yu Huisung from In Flying, he recently did an OST song for the Spice Who Loved Me show. It is called Run to You, and it just popped up on Spotify the past couple days. It was out prior to then Korea side, but I kept waiting. So it's really good. It has a little bit of rock vibe to it. It's not hard by any means, but I really like it. And I think that was about it. One other funny side note about music this month for me was my husband, there was one night he was at his hospital work and he randomly texted me. He's like, I'm listening to K-pop as I chart and I'm thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't listen to K-pop on his own all that much at the moment, usually. And I was like, oh, who are you listening to? And he started listing off Wavy, EXO, my boy 10. He said, like, I was like, oh, so you're an SM stan. He's like, I guess so. So that was just really funny. I was making fun of him. That was my stuff. Yeah. Dreamcatcher concert was really good.
Oh, yeah. With Handong. It's finally my first concert with Handong.
It was so good. They did such a good job.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of guts to be like, I'm going to dress like Hellboy.
But that's
She looked amazing, though. She looked so good.
It's like totally her. Like, you're like, yeah, that's what she would do. Sure, okay. I get it.
It's just so funny. Because you know, and it's fine that there's different types of girls in the world, and some always want to be like really put together and effeminate. It's totally fine. But it's just funny when it's like a girl that's like, nope, I don't care one lick. I'm gonna do whatever the crap I want.
It's like really funny because you can tell like they went to them and they're like, what do you want to dress up as? And so like, you know, Handong's like, I just kind of want to be like a vampire-esque, like, you know, that's fine. And then like,
that'd be great.
You had like all these other things, and then Sue was like, hey, listen. So I was thinking, and then I've got to have full makeup, like go all out, and I have to have a full choreographed thing.
And then I have to do the part of the song. She changed her voice to be like very guttural at one point. It was so funny. So funny.
So good.
But they did a good job, and the live band was great.
Oh my gosh, I know. That's the only thing. The only problem I had with it is that their newer songs aren't heavy rock, and their older songs are. and their older songs were outstanding, like with the live band, but they literally just did a medley of a couple of the songs, and then like basically just did their new songs, which are great, but like what really benefited for that, like when they started it was like freaking like phenomenal hearing it with the live band, and I was like, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Yes.
But it was good. They always do good concerts. I've loved, this is my third one, and I've loved every single one of them. And I've like, one of them I've actually seen them live, like 5 feet in front of me.
Nice.
I think I didn't go into any other concerts prior to then. I don't remember. Maybe.
It was KCON, like, did you know we went to KCON? We went to KCON.
We went to KCON.
Okay.
Yeah. We did that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's also like random.
Nom. We talked about Nom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't. There's also just random live concerts that happen that are like live streams on YouTube, and I just like, if I see them, I just click play. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Also, what's nice, like for instance, there was one that come to find out you needed a ticket for, and I wasn't going to buy a ticket for it. I think it was drive-in. But what was nice was a day or two later, they started releasing like official.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
The press started releasing official, stages of the
Oh yeah, that's right.
entire thing.
Because I saw the Dreamcatcher ones. Yeah.
So if you're ever kind of bummed out about that, sometimes just wait around a day or two, and you might be able to pretty much watch the whole thing. And
honestly, like especially with that one, they not that same company, but like one of the broadcasting networks radio shows did a drive-in couple weeks before that. Wacky Mikey, we'll figure out your name. WM was there, and J6.
Perfection.
J6 was there and stuff, and so like there are times like it might not be like the same concentration of bands, but these are all free, and it was a free live streaming thing, and they had it like afterwards. There was that rock concert that we watched, you and I, Sky, like it was just a free thing, and they're out there, like the you're not paying for it except for your internet connection type thing. They're out there.
And I try to keep track of it to put it on our group.
I try too.
Our Certified Noonas Twitter, but like stuff changes so much and it's really hard, especially with like the time zones and me figuring out what day it really is versus for us, and
especially now time change, and Korea doesn't also do that, so then everything's weird. I got so used to like KST. I was like, yes, I know when KST is, and I'm like, oh, now I've got to add and oh god, it's 2 hours, not 1 hour now.
I know.
Well, and so it's also been festival season for Korea, but like of course they had to move some of them online, and then a lot of them don't exist. But then you have some that have been kind of in limbo to where they've been saying they'll still do it, but then ultimately within a couple of weeks of it being a thing, they'll pull the plug. And so that's another reason why it's tough for me to promise like, hey, here's a free way, and then making sure that North America or Europe could actually watch it versus just Korea.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that. It's like, oh, it's going to be on like the Season app. I'm like, oh, you mean another app that we cannot download, not in Korea. Got it.
Thanks. I was one of my Twitter mutuals who's, I can't remember what country they're in, but somewhere Southeast Asia, and there's a concert coming up, and it looks good. The lineup looks good, but it says specifically like for this country only, and this mutual is like, so I don't know if you guys have VPNs and stuff, like we can work out something. I can buy you tickets. Like I will work it out for you guys if you need it, but I don't know how you're gonna watch it. That part's on you. I'll buy your tickets, but you gotta pirate it yourself. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like too much work for me. But especially to be like, it's gonna be in the middle of the night. Like I can't. No. It's nice when somebody offers.
Well, I'm enjoying, the ones that we do have access to and stuff, and that are definitely for international fans. I'm really enjoying the free ones or even the special group ones. I hope that it all doesn't poof whenever things get better. I want things to get better. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I still want my online concerts after that, though.
You know, they might not. I think a lot of, like, the smaller companies have seen that they can get the amount of people interested in, and so it might become, especially with the, like, smaller companies be doing this, because they would never be able to do, like, a tour.
Right.
Hopefully, it does something. And I would assume maybe it will, just because of how much people are investing on, like, the technology and, like, the servers and stuff, and, like, just, like, the setup of everything, that they'll, like, keep it up because they have already, like, paid for these things.
Right, and that would make sense, too. Also, the Beyond Live stuff, the SM Beyond Live, because that was kind of, like, really at the beginning of the pandemic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And since those were big groups, kind of forefronting that a little, I hope that that's also a thing to where it's like, this is a cool thing, you know, kind of a trend to do too, even after. I'm just going to hold my breath for that. Of course, I won't need to hold my breath for any time soon, because we're going to be in a pandemic for quite a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Like, they keep saying, like, oh, yeah, like, we're going to have a vaccine rolling out, like, in early 2021. I'm like, no, we're not. Like, I like your enthusiasm, politicians, but that is not how
I love that you're so hopeful.
Work.
It's, like, very sweet, but...
Yeah.
However.
But I really don't feel like the entire population should be the guinea pig for a drug trial. You know what I mean?
So, we're going to do what we've been watching, then.
What have you been watching, Sky? Give it to us.
There was a super cute, it's on Viki, it might even be on YouTube too. I did not go chase it down. It supposedly exists on YouTube. I don't know if it does with subs, whatever. Kiss Goblin, which sounds like a really silly title, which I suppose it's kind of funny. But the main character is a goblin, and it's a web series, and it's darn cute. And it's the kid from XX, the baseball player kid from XX.
Oh, he was so... Oh, my God. I love XX.
And it's a really cute web series. I really, really like it. Essentially, and this isn't giving anything away, you figure this out in like 2 seconds. The reason it's called Kiss Goblin is he's a goblin, and in order for him to become a human, he has to kiss 10 humans and experience their various emotions.
Okay, interesting.
So he's a bit of a hoe. Okay, I like it.
So like great web series material. But actually, when it comes to, you know, so Supernatural, they did have some CGI, and for web series, it was darn good CGI. Like, I was down for the little aura smoke that he sometimes had. It really worked. So I really liked it. I recommend it. Like I said, Viki. Easy watch, just, you know, was there 10 episodes? So, I mean, it's just a couple hours of your time, but it's really simple. I've been binging a show, but my binge has slowed down, so I really will need to just, like...
That was like a Jesse Pentagon sigh there.
Well, it kind of is. Okay, what happened was, it's a C drama...
Mm-hmm.
And it's a rom-com, and the only reason I went watching it is because the parts of my timeline kept on talking about how good it was, and I was like, ooh, and it was, I think it was during a lot of the election things happening, to where I was like,
so willing to be like, okay, fine.
I needed like binge. Yeah. Just like unplugged brain binge.
Yeah, you needed to be out. You needed to be in a new world.
It couldn't be like I'm gonna watch a couple episodes of a show I'm already. No, like I need to start just like watching something. So, Love is Sweet. It is a good show. I'm gonna preface that. It's very cute. Kind of investment banking, office romance type.
Okay.
Friends when they were kids. But, so, though I was enjoying trying to brain break as I watched it, I don't think I've been in the right mindset for it either, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, light rom-com stuff, but then, like, to where you're like, but he's kind of a jerk. And you keep on thinking to yourself, but he's kind of a jerk. But the show isn't really trying to sell him as a jerk. Like, he is a sweet guy. He does do these sweet things. But the whole time I'm like, but he's still kind of a jerk. Or like, wow, why is she so dumb and like kind of doing some selfish stuff? Like, that's what I kept.
Yeah.
I kept being too real because I was in a very real headspace with everything. So, cute show. I'm like 3/4 of the way through, and the bad thing about Sky is that I typically am really bad about getting 3/4 of the way through a show and not finishing it. So, it is definitely going to be one of those that, like, if I'm able to finish it by the end of the year, that will be good on me. It is a good show. I like it. It's just when you start hitting on the, because it's when you start hitting on the snags and the not fun episodes. That's why I struggle.
I would say that probably a good 80 to 90% of C-drama rom-coms that are super crack-like you could just suck them right back. If they're like 24 episodes, you probably hit about episode 20, and you can probably drop it because, like, just skip to the end and be like, yeah, okay, everything turned out fine. Because those last, like, 4 to 6 episodes are always going to be kind of a drag.
And I love this. Is 36 episodes.
Oh.
I think I'm like on 21 or 22, and I'm like, ooh,
Power
this
through.
is a long
I believe in you. I believe in you. You can do it.
You can do
You
it.
can do it, girl. You
Yeah.
can do it.
Go, Sky, go. Go, Sky, go.
It was that simple crack. Like, it was cute enough that it was like, oh, this is cute. I need to see the cute. And it's like, oh, shoot. 20, 21, 20. Come on. To 36. Like, so we'll see. The Spies Who Loved Me, I think, is super fun. I'm not going to give away anything other than, and this is just actors who are in it. Both XX guys are in The Spies Who Loved Me. Assistant spy. So, like, on one side, you have the baseball XX kid, and then on the other side, you have the best friend kid being the other assistant. So, I love that. They have not interacted whatsoever or anything, but I'm like, I appreciate the fact the XX little actor kids are in it, so that's fun. It's just a fun show. It's hard to explain without, like, being away.
I'm waiting for it to have, like, at least 6 episodes out before I start. I just, I like watching a chunk at a time. Like, I just want to put my time into it,
Now, one thing, this is not giving a thing away. One thing I want to say about the main female character is probably at first you think that there's not much substance to her, but as it goes on, she has way more depth, and she's way, way more capable than you maybe think the first little bit. So, and I wish they had just started, why don't you start from square one, showing that she is super capable. I mean, she was capable of making very beautiful wedding dresses, which is great, but, like, she's also a pretty tough cookie, and they eventually show. And they'll say, like, wow, she's really tough. Okay. So that's a good thing about that character. She's not simply leaning on the dudes around her. She's handling a lot by herself. The Devil Punisher.
Oh, yeah. How is that?
Netflix. I have only watched the first episode. So the reason I wanted to start watching it was because supernatural stuff, so that's kind of the fun part. I had to go kind of look into the supernatural characters, though, because it's definitely within, like, Chinese. Is it Chinese or was it? I
think
remember.
It's Taiwanese. Is it? I think.
So they're legend characters. Like, since I'm not used to them, like that, pretty much the gods of the afterlife names are definitely being thrown around a lot. So I had to go kind of check into that a little. But CG is not that great. I'm just gonna admit that. Acting. It is not Tale of the Nine-Tailed. I will say that right now.
Fair.
Oh.
Maybe it's unfair to be watching it at the same time as Tale of the Nine-Tailed. Maybe that's kind of the thing. But right off the bat, you have the main female character getting amnesia. She came to Earth and got amnesia. She doesn't remember what she is. So he definitely remembers who she is and is going to be like, okay, this is going to take. They weren't lovers in the past, so that's kind of cool too. It wasn't a we were together thing before, so it'll be interesting. You just have to know that it's not Tale of the Nine-Tailed, which is totally fine.
It's fine, man. Not everything can be. You
Not,
know?
not everything has Tale of the Nine-Tailed budget. You know,
Yeah,
that's,
exactly. Like some things, you know, you just have to stay for the story and just know that the production values, they were not as moneyed as other things.
Varying levels in like production and quality, it can happen.
It can still be a
still
quality.
Enjoy her.
It can still be a quality acting and quality story experience
exactly.
with not quality visuals, you know?
And so Devil Punisher, I think story-wise, there's good hooks there. I just haven't had the time to travel on with it. Tale of the Nine-Tailed, I'm actually way behind on. I have been appreciating it as far as I got. And I think I was kind of purposefully lagging a bit because I wanted to binge a little bit more. So now I'm definitely to the point where, oh, shoot, I need to go binge it. I have time to, like, binge it more. If Love is Sweet would stop calling my name, which it kind of is, so it's probably time to binge.
It's time.
I also watched Dodo, So, La La So. And it's really cute. There is a...
I'm pretty sure everybody knows the spoiler at this point.
Does everyone? I don't know.
I don't know on this podcast, but I'm sure the timeline
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
One of the characters is a minor. So that's a thing. Like...
You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
That's kind of why, because I was keeping up with it religiously pretty much, and it's a silly show. I guess it's mostly a silly show, but then like there's this creepy stalker guy, like seriously super creepy, to where I'm like, are you a serial killer? Like, not joking, are you? Like, it's really bad. So there's that too. I'm like, there's all this weird like threatening stuff going on that I was not prepared for, and then the minor thing, like,
yeah,
and not telling before you start. I mean, there was even a discussion within the show. He was trying to get advice from somebody, and he's not someone to really get advice from somebody, but he was like, if you have a secret and you also like somebody, should you confess first or should you tell your secret first? And of course, the high school kid's like, well, and when I say high school, random high school kid, he was like, no, well, are you going to lose her if you tell? Maybe. Oh, then you need to confess your love first. It's like, crap! No, that is the wrong order. Wrong order to do it in.
I heard on the Black Girl Soul podcast, they did just a mini podcast talking about that, and they were just like, couldn't you just make them 20, make them, I don't know, like put them in college or
first year of college or something.
Like just help a girl out. Like, come on.
The reason it's actually really difficult to fully shut down that character is because he's actually been on his own for quite a bit, and he's been holding down like a bazillion part-time jobs, and he's super mature too, and that's why he does act 25. Mm-hmm. The character acts 25, and so then you're like, oh, he's a minor. Crap. Like,
yeah.
And then you're still trying to continue on and not tell her, and so it's like, this actually is starting to become a real problem. That, I mean, that's when I stopped watching it at the moment. I'm going to pick it up because I want to see what the heck they're going to do with that, because they're going to have to do something with it. I also saw on the actor's Instagram, there were some stills from the show, scenes I haven't seen yet, where he's all dressed up as like a cobbler, and he has like the little cute hat and like overalls and stuff. I'm like, what's this coming from? So like, now I have to watch to see what like the cobbler scene is about. I'm not sure. But so warning on if you're gonna watch that, I'm sure they're gonna tie it up with a little bow. That's the type of show it is. Mm-hmm. It's just definitely an obstacle I wasn't ready for.
And nobody was ready for it. Like, I saw that like go down. I wasn't watching the show, and I didn't really have plan on so I didn't like mute anything or anything like that. And when it happened, it was just like blew up on the timeline. I'm like, oh. Well, okay.
Well, actually, like, it's a Netflix show to where it's like the people who are interested in watching that, it's an easily available show. So I'm sure it'll recover. It's definitely one of those, like, everything will be fine in the end. I'm sure it'll just be up to, like, if it bugs you or not, kind of. So whatever. That is a thing.
But it's good to know now. Like, if you had been wanting to watch it and that would be something that you're not into, it's good to know. Then not be blindsided.
Flags on this stuff. So, like, this show, Alice. Like, these two shows.
That Black Girl Soul episode that I listened to, that's what it was. It was a double header. Alice and Dodo, like, they were like, listen, can we just please just trigger warnings or something?
What show? Kind of like when actually, shoot, Love is Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Love is Sweet for a second. Side character, second male lead, adopted, for lack of a better word. They never say that word, but he was pretty much pushed into this wealthy family in order to cover for the son that had passed. He had the exact same birthday as him, whatever. Anyway, had a sister, adopted sister.
No.
She bossy sister, even in adult life. He actually gets to the point where he's able to break away from his very controlling environment and regain his old name. And so she was like, hey, since we're not brother and sister anymore, can you see me in a different light? And he's like,
No.
I already have someone I like. I'm like, that's not why it's a problem.
No, if they grow up and know each other, like, I can understand why, if you're not, like, down with the, like, surprise that they're brother and sister, or, like, you know, that, like, era of, like, not knowing. But, like, if it's, like, physically the characters know, that's a no. Like, if it's just, like, you as the, like, audience member going, I see more than these characters see, oh god.
Yeah, then that's the story, right?
Yeah. But when they know.
No. Yeah, no.
So I think that's another reason why for the Love is Sweet thing. So that was the last episode I saw, and I'm like, crap. And I have a feeling that relationship is probably going to eventually recover by the close of the show. And I'm like, I don't want to play that. Thank you.
And scene.
No.
We're out.
Between Alice and then the Dodo show and then Love is Sweet, I'm like, can everybody just calm down with inappropriate relationships? Like,
I'm gonna need y'all to stop.
Right. Like,
Y'all
at this point, just give me all the age gap stuff. I'm cool with, like, 800.
As long as they're both adults, I don't care.
Yeah, like, we're good. Incest. Okay, two versions of incest, essentially, and then minor. Like, do we gotta?
All in, like, one, like, time span, too. It's, like, one after the other. You're like,
that's like a lot of squick all at once, you know?
Yeah.
Right, so these shows I was kind of concurrently watching, and I'm like, this is way too much squicky overlap. Like, I'm kind of just... And that's what else
I'm gonna need y'all to calm it down with the gross, please.
That's when I was like, I think I'm gonna go restart my Ghibli watching marathon and feel better
Good
about
choice. Good choice.
Good call.
Solid choice there.
About every show randomly doing something that I wasn't ready for. Because, for instance, Love is Sweet, I've invested 22 episodes already. Like, really? We're gonna do this now? Even the Dodo Soso show. am I halfway through? Like, that's a lot. Alice, even, I got pretty far. It'd be great if there were just flags, like, hey, this is a squeaky show. Like, at least know that when you're going in. I didn't know that. Even Alice, I didn't know that. So, anyway, don't be me. If you want to go watch those shows, just know that they have squeaky stuff in it. That will probably make it, I don't know. I think, from what I've heard, Alice doesn't get better about it, so.
No, it sounds like they kind of do a, like, but she's from an alternate universe, so she's not really your mom. She's just, no. And I'm like, no.
Yikes. Big yikes.
Okay.
Because I put all of it on hold when it was like a vagueness going on, and I'm like, and that's why I never picked it up again, because so yeah, I don't know, there might be 3 things that Sky is dropping. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm gonna try to see what the crap is going on any of these shows anymore. The thing with the Dodo Social show, they have a really cute puppy dog in it, like.
You can hold into a false sense of security.
Like, I was watching for Mimi. Let's be real. Like, she wears little dresses. It's cute. And then it's such a silly show. There was one point where, like, you hear there's piano music from the outside, but, like, no one's in the building. Like, how is this? They're like, is it ghosts? Like, what's going on? You see the camera moves. It's like, there's Mimi playing the piano. And, like, an episode prior, the main character was trying to teach her, like, taught her how to play the piano. And so now she's a dog who can play the piano. So, like, that's the type of show you're dealing with, and all of a sudden someone's a minor. Whatever.
They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do it.
But I've been enjoying most of what I'm watching.
She's like starts to cry in the corner. I
swear most of it's been good. These things have just betrayed me.
I mean, it's been rough with that, and then not, trying to not doom scroll every living, waking moment. Like, it's been a thing, so.
Yeah, no. It is understandable. We are all, like, dealing with mental issues. Like, it's a hard time. It's okay.
It's an unprecedented time in our lives, It
might be the thing that helps me be better about dropping stuff, like dropping, to where it's not right. Well, if I ever need to pick it up again, fine. Why do I need to keep calling it hold? I don't know. I need to just
there you go.
Accept the fact it doesn't work and move on. Natalia, what have you been watching?
Okay, so I actually haven't been watching that much because, as I said before, I've been so busy with these stupid yoga manuals that are just ruining my life. Okay, but it's fine. One is done, one is coming. But last night, as of this recording, not as this listening, if that makes sense, I watched the movie Bakuman. It's a Japanese movie from, I think, 2015. Matthew, my husband, and I watched it, and it is so good, y'all. I was not expecting it. I was watching it because it starred the guy who played the doctor in that Japanese show where the doctor and the nurse fall in love, and the doctor's all tsundere, and the nurse is really cute. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I liked him. Like, I'm going to check out another thing that he's in. So I watched this movie, and it's based on a manga, and it's about 2 teenagers who get together and write a manga that they want to submit to Shonen Jump. And so it's a lot about, like, the industry of making manga, and also how shitty it is to be a mangaka or a manga maker. And
is it slice of life? What genre is it?
It's not so much slice of life. Like, it's like a little bit, I guess, but it's more like a comedy drama type thing.
Okay.
Because, like, it's a lot of, and it's, like, stylized really weird. My husband said the styling of some of it reminded him a lot of Scott Pilgrim.
Oh,
if you know what I
okay.
mean. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like got that weird, like at one point they're like trying to get their comic to like #1 against this other dude. So there's like a sequence of them like, you know, like with their giant like, you know, pens and brushes, like fighting each other and like it's
Okay.
then it takes like, you know, it has a nice little dark turn and everything. Like it's really good. Like it was surprisingly good. Unfortunately,
I was about to
Dang it.
Oh, I mean,
There
like,
is-
once you said Japanese, we can all just, like,
there isn't a
in
side
our
to
hot
this.
heads think about it.
Cough,
I was like,
cough.
either it's on Netflix or it's nowhere.
Yeah.
Quotation marks.
either this is widely available or really kind of not.
Very not widely available, but very good. And it seems like the sort of thing that Netflix would pick up, but it's like, it's an older one, so they probably won't. But hey, maybe if we all spam the what should Netflix get
Yeah.
section, they might, because it's pretty good.
Yeah, they need to get more Japanese movies, because they tend to do a lot of, like, heist-type movies for their Japanese.
Yeah, and this one isn't that. This one is, it's almost slice of life.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
almost.
it sounds like something I'd love, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's
good with it.
really fun.
If you were an actor, you'd be getting in trouble right now.
Oh.
I actually feel really bad for that guy, by the way.
It's also fucking hilarious, okay? Like,
Especially because you know every other person is like, yeah, we do that too. Yeah, doing that
no,
too.
it's like in other scandals, it's like sexual assault, like embezzlement, and then that guy's like was caught watching some illegally downloaded anime.
American drama. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he downloaded Game of Thrones. No. Okay. What else have I been watching? I've been actually on a little bit of a Japanese kick. I've been watching the J-drama live action Way of the House Husband, and that shit wacky. It's like, but like, it's like super wacky, but also surprisingly like touching at the same time. Like, you're like, oh my god, like this is so over the top, ridiculous, but then something really like heartfelt will happen, and you're like, oh, you. So that's really good. I've also been watching, I just started it. It's called Stepmother and Daughter Blues. And it's about this woman. I'm only like 3 episodes in, so I'm not very far at all. But she's like she's very business minded. Like she works for she's like really high up in a big corporation, and like everything is, you know, like she has spreadsheets for everything, and she's just like super, like everything is business. But then she falls in love with this single dad who's kind of just like a free spirit, and he's like, his wife died 3 years previously, and he's like, oh, we should get married. He's like, we have to introduce you to my daughter who's like 8 years old. And so the daughter like hates her, right? Because she's like, you're trying to replace my mom. And she's like, no, I'm going to be a different sort of mother. Like, I'm going to do my best to like be your new mom. And so it's just sort of wacky, but like there was a little bit of an inkling that bad things are coming, and this is a Japanese show, so who knows what they could be. But it also has the guy from Bakuman and the other thing in it, which is why I decided to watch it, but he's like a secondary. What else have I been watching? I've been watching Nine Tails, enjoying it very much so. Oh my goodness. I've been watching Love by Chance 2 against my better judgment because it is not good, but I am so far into it now. I only have 2 episodes left. Like, I can just get through these 2 episodes because it is not good. Like, Love by Chance 1 is good.
So good.
Good. Love by Chance 2 is a hot mess.
Oh.
It does not know what it is doing. It like retconned a bunch of things, and like, so... Like, when it started, you would expect it to just, like, continue from where season 1 left off, and some of it does. But the main 2 couples, they, like, put that in the past, so, like, they restarted their story, which had already been a big part of the first season. But everyone else is like they were at the end of the first season. So it's like we're rewatching this couple's story, but it's happening at the same time as stuff that's happening in the future, but they're in the... It's so fucking stupid.
It sounds like how in Batman movies, you know, when they tell the story of his parents dying for the 5 billionth time.
Yeah.
It's like,
imagine if they're doing that, but the Joker already exists. Like at the same time as the Joker.
And it's like, why would they be doing that? Like,
and
why?
It's so
why?
weird.
And also, there's like these...
changed actors for some of the stuff weirdly, and like...
So like in the first season, like the main character of the second season's brother was like in his mid-30s, and now he's like 22, and you're just like, okay, calm down, like this doesn't make any sense. He has like a 10-year-old child. How the fuck so you're just like, okay.
The actor for the kid is the same actor from the first season, which was like 2 or 3 years ago. So the kid was like 6 or 5 or something in the first season, and he's like 9 or 10 now, but like they aged the dad down a decade, so like now he knocked some girl up when he was 12. It's so weird. It's like
so eventually there's like a hidden time machine somewhere that
I feel like this is taking like place in like a weird alternative universe. Like that's the only way that this show makes sense. But there's this one plot line that like in the first season we all hated, and in the second season they're just making it worse. They're just doubling down. They could have done anything with it, but like in the first season, basically this one guy gets drunk and his brother's best friend has sex with him. It's in like the last episode, and we're like, rape. That is what you call rape, sir. But they're trying to like retcon it somehow that it was like not that bad, and like the guy's still trying to date him, and I'm like, you gotta stop making this happen. Like, this is a bad plot. Just, no.
Like, just literally all they would have to do is, if you're gonna change all this stuff in the second season anyway, just have it be that, like, the guy says, we didn't actually have sex. I lied to you because I thought it would make you want to date me, but, like, we didn't have sex. And then we'd all be like, okay, you're still like, a fool, but like, at least you're not a rapist.
Yeah. Like, and it's actually really unfortunate because the actor who's playing the rapey gross dude is actually the one who lost all those contracts for supporting Thai democracy. So it's like, you want to be on his side, but this character is so awful. Anyway, moving on. I've also been watching a Filipino show called Just Like the Movies, and it is so good.
So good.
So good. Like, I'm like almost in tears thinking about it. It's the best. It's one of the best. Like, I don't even know what to call it. It's not, I can't call it like a BL show because that really like does not do it justice to what this show is bringing to the world. It's the most realistic, like, coming of age, coming into your own sexuality show.
And the music is so good.
Incredible. The music is incredible. The acting is so good. Like, it's very realistic. Like, when you're watching it, you're like, this could be a real thing happening right now. It's not like, you know, over the top in any way. It's on YouTube for free with subtitles. You should go watch it if you like that sort of thing. It's like, it's romantic, but it's not like it's not a rom-com. You know what I mean? Like, and so it'll have like these really, just the one character, Vlad, is like openly gay and very sarcastic, and he's just the best. So it'll be like the main character like finds out that this guy's gay, and he's like, oh, I'm not homophobic, like I have a gay uncle. His response was, yeah, who doesn't? Right. Oh, beautiful. But no, the show is so good, and I think it's going to be one of those shows that turns out to be like very important for helping like the gay rights movement in Southeast Asia. Like, it doesn't like, I don't know what the word is. There's no like fantasy like yeah, it's just like very good. It's just gays. They're just
very
like
good.
like it's just it's a really good show. What else? And I did start there in time. I'm not gonna go into it. It's exactly last season, so
as expected.
It's
As advertised.
It's exactly as advertised.
Got that.
Yeah. So
for those who are curious, it's exactly like the first season.
It's literally like, yeah. It's except that less homophobia. So plus.
They're moving up.
Moving up. Like the character has realized he was just internalizing his own issues and moved on. We're sweet. What else are we doing? Mostly, I'm gonna be honest. I mostly just watch like Let's Plays. I spent. Oh my god, I lost my mind in hilarity. There's this YouTuber called Mr. Fruit, and I found him because I started watching Among Us videos. But then I started watching some of his other non-Among Us ones, and he has this extensively long series where he and two of his friends that he plays Among Us with all the time play this game called Rust. And Rust is like an MMORPG, basically, but it's like an open concept world where you show up in this world completely nude, okay? So half of this is them, like, their characters are just naked with, like, pixelation over the bits. And then you basically have to, like, run around, like, chopping down trees, and there's, like, and working your way up through technology to build a house, but other people can, like, raid your house and steal all your stuff, and anyway.
So, like Minecraft.
It's like Minecraft, but with guns. And you can kill each other. Like, kill each other.
So this is Minecraft Animal Crossing, but more intense.
It's like... So that's like the first season is them not knowing how to play there's 3 seasons of it. So the first season is them not knowing how to play the game and just getting constantly murdered. And so they had like a feud with like this other clan called the Suck Clan that they were convinced like murdered them. And then after all of like their base gets dismantled and like burned to the ground, and all that's left are these like a circle of signs that just have a picture of Harambe on them, and they're like, who did this? Who did this to us? And then in the second season, they set up their own server. But then there's like their server gets infiltrated by their friends who dress in deer masks and just blare the music.
This is now sounding really familiar.
Yeah.
Does he play with a person like RT Gamer or RT Games? Are any of them Irish?
No, you're thinking of Jacksepticeye, is that it?
No. I mean, like,
no,
Jacksepticeye probably plays with RT Games.
No, none of these are Irish.
Okay.
But then, like, their friends infiltrate the game and, like, are just constantly blaring All-Star by Smash Mouth and, like, murdering them. And so they're trying to, like, get an army on their server to, like, fight the All-Stars who are their enemies. It's so good. Like, it's so good. Like, I'm crying thinking about it. Like, I was laughing so hard.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I'm so glad that like gaming is a thing, because in this world
fun.
that we live in where we are locked at home, it is really good social type of fun thing to watch. Like, it's really good that Twitch exists, that we can watch people play games that we're, you don't have to play it yourself. You can just go laugh by playing it.
And what I like about these sort of things, especially the ones where, like, because I love watching, like, Markiplier and his 2 friends play Uno together.
Oh my gosh, the Uno games are so funny. Have you watched Nogla's Uno? Nogla?
No.
Oh my gosh. Watch his games, because he's, like, insanely good at it. It's ridiculous.
And it's not so much like I want to watch the gameplay, because, like, you're watching Uno. There's no gameplay. Like,
Yeah.
But it's just, like, the shit that they say to each other, and, like, you can tell how good of friends they are. And, like, with the Markiplier Uno ones, since there's only 3 of them, and like the way it's set up on the online Uno is it's 4 players, there's always like an AI player with them, and for a while it was an AI player named Barbara, and one of them was convinced that Barbara was like out to get him, so he was like, God damn it, Barbara! And I'd be like, sounds a little misogynistic, like, oh, you only hate the female player. He's like, no, ah! I was like, God damn it, Barbara! Because like, they're just so good.
They are.
Anyway, they're so good. And
anything
then,
that brings you joy at this point is a great thing.
It's just,
Yeah.
So what else have you been watching, Jesse? Because
I didn't know I'd like to tell you.
I'm done. I know that it's all Let's Plays over here,
Okay.
man.
So I haven't been watching that much because of the games and doing other things. And then also I did a readathon that was 2 weeks at the end of October, and I read a lot of books. So that kind of took time. I am trying to focus on stuff that I have in my on hold that I want to get done before the end of the year. There's something weird that just happened behind me.
It's a ghost.
It's an Among Us ghost.
Listen, I do my segment now. I finished Missing the Other Side. I have opinions on that show, but I'm in a weird spot, and I can't like really talk about the opinions because they're like very much spoiler-esque. But like the parts that I hated, I absolutely hated, and the parts that I loved, I absolutely loved. There's no middle ground, and so that's where I'm in this weird space with this show. Yeah. The one thing I will say, and I don't, the actor who's the lead guy is like in his 40s, and he doesn't look any younger. He looks great, but he looks like he's in his 40s. Like he looks like he's older than me. Like you can see that. And the lead character's age has been a problem for the entire show because he's obviously supposed to be younger, and like plot points that like should be like fun and exciting are not, because you never see him as not a 40-year-old. So that's like one of the big things, but like there's other things that happen. But it had like some really great moments in like the found family, and I will say that like the problems I had with his character didn't affect a lot of the rest of the show, because it actually ended up being a lot more character driven, and so like he may have been the main character, but everybody else pretty much is constantly there, so like your attention isn't always solely on him. So like the rest of the cast is really good, and they have some good things. There's some good found family bits in it. It's not I think it'd be fine if you don't normally like OCN dramas. There's not much.
So the killing isn't like
the killing you don't see really.
Okay.
I mean, like if you're affected like by body
we
fat,
we should make an OCN scale, like kind of plot. This drama was at this point in the scale. This
right
drama was way over here.
Seigooks are like our envoy levels. So then OCN.
I'm writing this down.
We'll find fun kitschy thing for it, and then like other things like the rom-com levels or something. I don't know. But
because OCN, it definitely is like, how OCN is this show?
Yeah,
like
exactly. I mean, I could have seen it on TVN essentially.
Oh wow.
That like helps you out if you were like weary of watching it. I think the general consensus is that everybody absolutely loved it, so I might be the outlier on everything. And you might not see that like the actor is that old, and it might not bother you as much, which is fine. You know, we all like perceive things a little bit differently. You know. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not mad that I watched it by any means. So I'm not watching a lot of like current shows. Tale of Nine Tail, I'm up to date on it. I really like it. I really like that it goes as dark as it does. It goes really dark, like darker than you expect. And
good.
I think what it's doing, like, to me, how I perceived it doesn't feel very weird on the tone because there's, like, so much, like, lightness in it that I think it's, like, purposely being, like, there is always this really darkness, and you should always know that it's there. So that's why it's going so dark. I won't spoil anything, but, like, the scene where she's watching the video, perfect. So good. So when you get to that part,
after I watch that, I'll be like, oh, this is what she did.
When I get to it, I'll know what you mean.
We were talking about that other show, the Taiwanese show, what Tale of the Nine-Tailed is doing that I think is really great that, like, would benefit for the other show that you were talking about, is that I feel like it actually is trying to teach you all the Korean lore and the different creatures, essentially, because it always kind of has a different one in an episode, and then
like a monster of the week.
Yeah, and they specifically talk about it, like they do the little blurb in the subtitles, and it's in the Korean subtitles as well, so you know that it's like an intentional thing. And then, like, through the dialogue and through the interactions with that said creature, you learn more about it, and I think that's really fascinating because I think that kind of, like, mythology and lore is, like, really fascinating to me. So I really like that aspect of the show. The show has just been enjoyable all around. Like, I could, like, deal without the, like, fluffy romance stuff, but, like, everything else is so great in comparison that it doesn't matter that there's, you know, these little parts about it. So I really like it. I'm also watching this Thai drama called After Dark. It's a horror drama. It is also, like, NC-17. The, like, themes of it are specifically about, like, kind of sexual acts more than anything. Which, now that you know that, and you know that I said horror, this has a lot of kind of body horror-esque things in it. So if that's not your thing, you'll probably be grossed out. I saw on the MDL that most of the people were, like, saying it's gross, but it's, like, pretty par for horror. I'm not that far into it, and I haven't read a lot into it, and it's currently airing, so I think there's only, like, 5 episodes out currently. But I think what's happening is that it might be some sort of, like, anthology type series where, like, a couple of the episodes are on one thing and then moves on to another thing. I just don't know if, like, the other story connects in any way. It might not, but I'm enjoying it. It is, like, kind of gross, but it's, like, to be expected from what it is. And it's got a really good, like, vibe to it. Like, it's very, like, the atmosphere on it's really good. It's, like, I think it's a good horror drama. So if you're into that, I'm watching on a Wii TV. So
it also has the guy who played Soren in Until We Meet Again in it.
There you go.
He's cute.
Yeah, I think it's good if that's, like, your type of thing. Like, I don't think it's gonna be for everyone, but if that seems like it might be, like, what you're already into and you're, like, into horror and you're into that sort of thing, I think it would be good. And it's accessible. I'm pretty sure it's up to 5 episodes, and the 5th one might be on the VIP version, so you have a couple of episodes to get through if you're looking for it. And then the only other Asian drama that I'm watching is Train, which is what won on my timeline when I tried to do a vote. I should have done, like, looking back at it, we also did the vote for the Saegooks, and it was right during like everything that was happening.
Yeah,
like,
the timing of that, I was like, well,
the voting thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking. I did an absentee vote, so I had already voted, like, a month earlier, and then, like, I was like, oh, this is, like, bad timing. I didn't know. And then
I kept on trying to, like, not use the word vote.
Yeah.
Because I felt bad.
Like, help choose.
I was like, I just need
decide.
Something. And I was like, I just need another, like, I just wanted to know, because it's all stuff that I had already started watching and just wanted to know what to go to. And then, of course, it went into Thai. So I had to run another poll.
A runoff. Decide moments.
I almost just went for the loser. I was like, I'll just go for the loser, but whatever. But they're all going to be watched. And so Train was the one. I'm on, like, episode 9, I think. I can't really talk about Train. I don't know how to talk about Train without spoiling it. It's a time travel, murder, mystery, serial killer type show. It's dark. It's crime. But I think everybody in the show is doing well.
Is the Yeah, the lead fella, is he doing really well with
Yeah,
Super Dark? Yeah.
I think he's great, but like I've only seen him in comedy stuff. Yeah, he's great in it. I'm enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah, other than that, I was reading all those books. I read Shine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
might hear about that soon. Watching a lot of movies, and we talked about the game shows, and then like also maybe possibly Netflix put back on Dawson's Creek, and then maybe I'm watching it. Maybe, who knows?
Maybe.
Man.
Maybe.
Like, you do you, boo-boo, you know? Like,
What was it the other week? There was I don't remember if I retweeted or just like saw it on the timeline. It was like, what thing what hobby I was interested in when I was 13 am I gonna get into today?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, I feel that.
you take a wheel and you just spin
Yeah, like,
it.
oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, Dawson's Creek is here. Okay, background noise, cool. I mean, it's not the greatest, and there's but also I guess technically there's what you had, but I already knew it was there. It was the teacher student relationship.
Oh,
That's like the
yeah.
very
Oh.
first part of Dawson's Creek.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I forgot all about that.
It's literally the first couple of episodes. Or like,
wow.
yeah, and it's very uncomfortable, and so I'm like, skip. Okay, back to it, because
Oh.
yeah, it's a show.
Oh, the things you
awful.
forget.
Yeah.
Like, and then you revisit something, you're like, oh yeah, that was
right.
there.
Into that show, but it wasn't like I was into it in that like when it was airing, I made sure I was watching it. And I was like super obsessed. I was like very obsessed with that like one episode about like Pace or like when Joey and Jen and the talent show and like everybody was freaking out about it. Like I don't know if you remember this, but like everybody like my school were freaking out about like who's gonna go to who, like who is Dawson gonna pick.
Yeah.
I was always a Joey Pacey fan myself.
Always.
Weren't we all?
During that time, my main loves were actually Buffy and the X-Files. So,
Yeah.
so like Dawson's Creek now is kind of like a little bit more of me watching and then being like, oh yeah, this happened, as opposed to when I rewatch Buffy, it's like I get the same like, oh yeah, but like it's also like, oh yeah, and let me like recite the words while you're saying it out because I've watched it so many times. So
Yeah.
oh, that's it. Not a lot of stuff, but probably watch more now. What about you, Amanda?
Well, I'm watching about a dozen boy loves from various countries. But a lot of them, most of them, are short episodes and like once a week. 2 of them are once every other week. So like whatever, I can have a dozen of them and it doesn't really
Doesn't feel like it
very
doesn't.
much. It balances out the like the couple of C dramas that I'm watching that have 3 or 4 episodes a week. So, it's a nice balance. So, I started watching one called Boys Lockdown. It's cute. It's just cute. It's goofy. It's more like a sitcom than I would say. Like, there are security guards because, they're it's lockdown and there's security guards, and these security guards, for some inexplicable reason, just keep taking their clothes off. Like, they strip down while you're having a conversation with them, and they're like,
So are they quote unquote security guards? Like,
no, they're actual security guards. And you're like,
Yeah.
what? I kept wondering if I was like, it's Filipino. I'm wondering, like, if I was Filipino, would I recognize these guys? Like, are they recognizable actors or like YouTube stars or something if you're in the Philippines? You know what I mean? Like, are they known for
dripping.
something? You know what I mean? Because they have that kind of, the characters have that sort of comedic relief cameo feel to them. So, like, I'm curious, but it's just a cute show about 2 boys who meet by accident, and one of them realizes that the other one is this guy that he sort of like saw months ago, back in the before times, before pandemics. He saw this guy and had a crush on him, but then was like, oh, he's got a girlfriend, never mind. And now they've met again and, you know, flirting. And it's cute. And I mean, whatever. They, basically, the thing that, like, the meet cute thing is that they're both wearing, like, face masks that have a print of tiny dicks on them. So, like, hey, tiny dick mask. Hey, tiny dick mask. And, like, the guy's trying to explain it to his sister. And it's just like, wait. Like, because he's so flustered and he's trying to tell his sister, and she's like, what do tiny dicks have to do with this? And so, in a brilliant move, the company, the production for the show, you can buy the masks. You can buy
the tiny dick masks.
And
they're kind of cute.
Right.
They're like,
they are kind of
tell that they're covered with dicks if you're like real close, because they just look like a little, you know, like little pattern, like.
And nobody should be that close to you anyway. So like,
exactly.
It's your best life, and you can totally buy them if you're like. They know that they've got international fans and that that's a thing. So they like. They have international fan links for buying your tiny dick masks and stuff. It's like, it's hilarious. So the show itself is not like it's not doing anything new, but it's cute. So
what if the masks came first before they came up with the show? Like
they writing prompt.
They got a big shipment of these masks, and they're like, okay, international people would think this is awesome. How are we going to market this?
So they made a web series on it.
It's
make a tiny
food web series where it's like the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yep, exactly. So, I started watching a Taiwanese one called Craving You. Again, nothing particularly special, but as with many of these things, they're just built off of the chemistry of the leads. So if the leads have good chemistry, it's fun to watch, right? And it's about a chef, a baker, and a YouTube singer star who they decide to collaborate. Like, I get it from the baker's perspective. Like, he wants this YouTube singer to, like, write a song about his bakery or something and, like, you know, make a commercial or something. Okay, I get that. But, like, the YouTube singer, they keep talking about, like, how this collab is so important for you. And I'm like, it's a bakery. Like, that's not really a crossover thing with YouTube music. Like,
is it gonna get, like, a lifetime supply of cupcakes? Because that is a valid
it's true. But in the first episode, he says, I don't even want to do this because I don't even like desserts. So
why are you doing it?
Well, it turns out he does like desserts. He's just never had good desserts before. And so now he's had good desserts. And so
even bad desserts are pretty good.
I know. So the thing is that he's he's going to write a song for the bakery, and in exchange, what it looks like he's getting out of it is baking lessons. So he's learning how to bake. I don't know why that's a draw when he didn't even know he liked desserts but whatever. And they both have, like, past trauma, and then they're collaborating again together. This couple comes in and they want, you know, a wedding cake, and you're going to write a song and perform at the wedding, right? But then one of the guys who's getting married is the singer's, like, first crush from high school, and so now there's, like, a triangle and whatever. It's cute. It's, again, like 10-minute episodes, and I think there's going to be like 10 of them. There's like 6 of them out right now, something like that. So it's easy, fast. I was, like, bored the other night and did not want to watch any of the things that I was already watching. So it's like, okay, YouTube's like, you should watch this. I was like, sure, why not? Click, and, you know, it was fun. I'm watching Pearl Next Door, which is the sort of sequel offshoot series to Game Boys, which, you know, was kind of big in the summer. It's really cute. I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I watched a bunch of like reaction videos on YouTube, people reacting to this, especially the first episode. And it's set up like a sort of love triangle between these 3 girls. But I don't know if they intended for it to be like a good love triangle where you'd actually have people rooting for one or the other. But like 100% everybody is like Team Alex, and like Team Carlene can like go rot in hell. Like, we hate her. Everybody hates her. So like the first girl, she's just, and there's nothing initially when she's first there's nothing wrong with her. Like, she's really pretty and they're having conversations and stuff. And you're just like, I just don't like her. I don't know why, but I just don't like her.
Like,
and
I'm not vibing with her.
All the reactors are like, I don't know what it is. I just don't like her. Why do I not like her? And then you get to like the second half of the first episode where she's basically kind of flirting with Pearl and stuff. And then the second half, Pearl says, I like you. And she goes, oh, hang on now. But no, you're not gay. And she's like, well, I'm confessing to a woman, so I'm obviously not straight. Like, that, hey. And she goes, yeah, no, but like, I don't date bisexuals. And like every reactor went, oh, hell no, girl. No. Oh, that's what I didn't like about you. You're biphobic. Got it. Okay, bye. And then
we put our finger on the pulse of the problem.
There it is. So we're like, we don't know if it's supposed to be. I feel like with Game Boys, they were very aware of everything they did. So I feel like on Pearl Next Door, they're also very aware that none of us are going to like Carlene. And we all just, Alex is so good. She's so great. And she's just fabulous. So yeah, Team Alex all the way, 100%. It's very, very cute. It's only 5 episodes, which I think is like Game Boys was only supposed to be like 5 or 8 episodes, and then they extended it. But Pearl Next Door is not getting the views because, quite frankly, if you love boy love, like, I get it if you are a person who wants to wait and binge it when it, because people do that. Okay, cool. But if you watch all the boy loves, but you're not interested in watching Pearl, then you maybe want to think to yourself,
you like
why?
BL?
And maybe all those people who say that boy love is fetishizing gay, maybe they're talking to you.
Yeah, maybe it's about you specifically.
So, because, I'm watching the reactors, and like a bunch of the reactors were lesbian couples and stuff watching this. They're like, ooh, representation. I'm going to watch this, right? Okay, cool. I'm watching lots of other, like, guys, straight people, gay guys. They're all watching Pearl Next Door too. So, like, listen. It's cute. Y'all, and I saw everybody, like, when Game Boys was on and they announced that they were going to have this Pearl Next Door and Pearl was getting her, everybody was like, yeah, we love Pearl. We want to watch Pearl. And now, like, the company is putting up polls on Twitter and stuff asking if there's a different night that they should be airing it on. Would people watch it if it was on a different time slot? Like, and I'm like, watch it. Just go watch it. It's fun. And there's like short episodes. They're like 15-minute episodes. 5 15-minute episodes. You can do this. You got the time. So, and Pearl's adorable. So,
yeah.
That was probably the funniest thing about the reaction videos is that there's a line in one of the shows where like Alex posts a picture, a screenshot of her and Pearl's Snapchat conversation or whatever it is. And Pearl's like, ugh, like, it's my bad angle. And like every single reactor at that point goes, girl, you don't have bad angles. And then like right after that, Alex comments, you don't have any bad angles. And I was like, it's true. Adrienne So is gorgeous. So there's no bad angles there. Am I watching anything Korean? Yes. Tale of the Nine Tails. Oh, I started watching Birth Care Center. It's not what I expected it would be.
Mm.
It's funnier than I expected, but also kind of dark, but also very real somehow. So it's like it's the story of a 40-year-old woman who career driven. It's not really clear whether she had infertility issues or just like waited until she was set in her career before she decided to have kids. But for whatever reason, by the time she and her husband decided that they wanted to have kids, it was more difficult for her. She gets this huge promotion at work, and basically the day she gets the big promotion, she also finds out she's pregnant. And from there, basically the way it starts is she's dead. She's getting rowed across the river by the Grim Reaper is the very first scene. And she goes, "So I'm dead?" And he's just silently rowing her across the river, and she starts telling her story of her life and how she always did what she could to survive, and she worked hard, and she didn't, when her friends were partying, she was studying, and when the people at work were looking down on her, she was, sucking up to the boss to get a better job, and how she's lived her life constantly trying more, and the only thing she wanted was, now it was her time. She's in her moment. This is my time, and I'm finally going to have all the things I want, my happy marriage and my job and my baby, and now I die? Really? Really? And the Grim Reaper is moved by her story. He's like patting her on the back and giving her a handkerchief, and she's crying and stuff. And then and it's like a really sort of like, wow, this is a rough, and she's like, oh, my life, I've done everything I could to survive, and like other people get to live and I die. And then she's like, oh no, screw this, I'm gonna live. She flips the Grim Reaper into the river and rows herself back to shore. As somebody who's been pregnant and gone through those things, I find that all the little stories, the things that they're dealing with are very real. They're very like, oh yeah, the person writing this has been there. They have seen all of these little stories, but then they do something funny with it, and so it's funny, but it's also kind of like intense. It's only 8 episodes long. I think there's 4. Yeah. So like there's like 4 episodes out right now. I'm only on the 2nd episode, but I'm really liking it. It's very different from what I expected it to be.
Is that on
somehow,
Viki? Is that a Viki show?
Yes, it's on Viki. It's free on Viki, like not even standard pass. It's just
wow.
That's surprising that it's 8 episodes. Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. I really am connecting with a lot of the plot points in the story. Having been there, having experienced some of those, not all of them, but a lot of them, I'm like, yeah. I'm watching the first one, and like I'm halfway through the first one, I'm like, wait, are we doing a comedy about postpartum depression? Is that what we're doing right now? Because that's wow. Okay.
That's a choice. That's a choice. Yeah.
It's a choice.
This is what we doing, I guess. Okie
But
dokie.
they very much are looking at that sort of death itself and how like your old life dies, and you, as much as you might want to be exactly the same person, your life is never the same once there's a baby there, right? Like you're not, it's different now. Things are different. So I'm enjoying it. And then I'm still watching Journey Across the Night. It's technically over, but still airing on YouTube. Like they're behind in the episodes that they put out on YouTube. So I should be, well, by the time you listen to this, I may be almost done it because all the episodes should be out by then. But I'm still really, really enjoying it. It's still really good. It's still different from anything else I've ever watched. So, yeah, I really dig that one. It's weird. It's kind of scary, but kind of not, but kind of, I cry. Every week I cry. Put it that way. I have jump scares and then I cry. And like, yeah, So
Are you ever crying and then you have a jump scare mid crying?
You're like,
no, I have not. No, because usually it's interesting, and it's a weird combination of like supernatural and like natural and medical and stuff. So I'm digging it. The other C drama I started watching is Professional Single, and it is classic Chinese college rom-com. It's just like crack. It's so easy to inhale and so light and so cute, and the leads are adorable when they're together, and of course they're drawing it out and stretching it out, and like everybody in their class is like, so are you dating yet? And they're like, what are you talking about? And you're like,
What?
The whole class,
like me, like
class is like, it's been 15 episodes, you're not.
yeah.
It's like, all right, speed it up a little bit, fellas. Let's get this going. Yeesh.
You know, it's a C drama, so there's the two eager second leads, and but what I like in this one is that the main leads don't feel the need to like be nice about it. Like they're not like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. They're just like, screw off, I'm not interested. Like, go away. I'm trying to be nice to you as a friend, but like I don't even have to be nice to you as a friend if that's where we're gonna be here. Like, just go be away. They're not taking hints though, so like it's like the girl, you think she's taking the hint, and then she like sitting there and she goes, oh, what I need to do is double down and work harder, and you're like, no, you said no. Like, just, they said no, just stay away, go away. But they'll get there eventually, because, as C-dramas do, they show you the entire series in the credits. So I know there's kissing eventually. So, hey, eventually we'll get there, and it's all about the ride. And it's a fun ride. I'm enjoying it very, very much. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, this has been another episode of What We're Watching and Listening to with the Certified Noonas. Thank you for coming in, taking time out of your day to listen to our podcast, and we hope that it brought you a little measure of joy in these uncertain times. Anyway, if you want to become an official sponsor for this podcast, you can go to ko-fi.com/Certified Noonas and join the official Certified Fan family. We love all y'all out there who want to support this podcast and keep the lights on, as it were. If you want to follow us on social media, we are always at Certified Noonas on everything. We're everywhere, but we're mostly on Twitter. So, come hook up with us. Not that way, just like in a sort of fun, friendly, platonic Twitter friend sort of way. And, send us your questions, your thoughts. We love hearing from all y'all. Anyway, you can listen to this podcast wherever podcasts are found, but especially on our website, CertifiedNoonas.com, where all of the links to everything that we talk about and some other fun stuff can be found. Also, check out our Instagram, which is always up to date with all of the latest K-pop knowledge, because Sky spends a lot of her time updating that Instagram. Yes. And you should go give her a little like as a kudos to it. Anyway, we hope that you have a fantastic week. In addition, just as a little side note, we do have merch. I know. If you want to support us that way and get something sick out of it, we have a merch store on our website at CertifiedNoonas.com. It's there. It's a little button that says merch. We got face masks now, so that's fun.
Face masks, but
no, they're not. Unfortunately they're not. But we do what we can. So if you want to check that out, that always supports us as well. And we got some fun stuff in there. Anyway, we hope that you stay safe this week and have a good one. And everyone just, keep it cool out there. Wear a mask and wash your hands. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.